There's a specific kind of mental suffering that isn't caused by the problem itself, but by the mind trapping itself. You worry. Then you worry because you're worrying. And the harder you try to control it, the stronger it becomes. Alan Watts, one of the clearest thinkers on the nature of the mind, calls this as a vicious circle. This video breaks it down in 3 layers: the loop itself, the addiction to thinking, and the principle that actually calms the mind. Vicious circle. The loop of worry. A doctor tells you that you need surgery. Automatically, you worry. But worrying ruins your appetite and sleep, which weakens your body. And then the mind shifts into a deeper level. You start worrying about the fact that you're worrying. At that point, worry is no longer just a response to an event. It becomes a system that feeds itself. You worry. Your body feels worse. You interpret that as danger. You worry more. You worry, you judge yourself. You worry because you can't control it. And the loop closes. So you are worried because you worry because you worry. This is the kind of worry that drains people fastest, because it generates its own fuel. Why is it so hard to be quiet? Because the mind is like a monkey, jumping nonstop, talking nonstop, never staying still. And once you learn to think through language, it becomes an automatic habit. Most people aren't afraid of the problem. They're afraid of the moment where there's nothing to hold on to, so they fill life with noise. Movies, food, scrolling work, relationships, stimulation. Not because those things are always important, but because silence forces you to face what's underneath. Emptiness, tension, uncertainty. So you run, not from life, but from yourself. You are addicted to thoughts. Thinking as an addiction. People are addicted to thinking. Thinking isn't bad, but there's a form of thinking that becomes compulsive, automatic, repetitive, obsessive. It's like your mind always has a background tab running, analyzing, predicting, rehearsing, defending. And the danger is this: compulsive thinking often feels like solving, but it's really just repeating anxiety in different forms. Why you must stop? Because if you talk nonstop, you only hear yourself. If you talk all the time, you can't hear anyone else. If you think all the time, you end up with nothing to think about except thoughts. This is what many people miss. When the mind runs nonstop, it loses contact with reality. It starts reacting only to itself. It becomes a room full of mirrors. Everything you see is your own reflection, and you mistake it for truth. So the more you think, the foggier it gets. The more you analyze, the more confused you become. The more you search for certainty, the more lost you feel. Not because you lack intelligence, but because there's no inner space left for something real to enter. How do you stop thinking? First rule, don't try to. This is a paradox. If you want a quiet mind, don't force it to be quiet. Because the moment you try, you create a new layer in the mind, the controller. And that controller starts giving commands. Stop thinking. Calm down. Be quiet. Fix it. But those commands are also thoughts. So you don't escape the loop. You just build a more sophisticated loop. What compares it to this? Trying to smooth rough water with a flat iron. The harder you press, the more you stir it up. So what's the real method? He says, leave your mind alone. Like a muddy pool. You don't need to fix it. Just stop disturbing it. The dirt settles. The water clears. The mind works the same way. You don't have to crush it. You just have to stop interfering in the wrong way, and it quiets itself. Worry becomes dangerous when it turns into worrying about worrying. People stay busy not because life demands it, but because they can't tolerate being alone with themselves. Addiction to thinking is a subtle addiction. If you try to force calm with willpower, you strengthen the loop. The most practical way is simple. Leave the mind alone, like letting muddy water settle.